Hello everybody, it is me, as Matilda here, and I am here to teach you how to draw for beginners drawing female anatomy and females in general. Now, this is episode 1, basic anatomy and base structure, and in this episode I will teach you, once again, basic anatomy and base structure, which is all the fleshy part, and how exactly certain pieces go together. Now, I am starting school tomorrow, and I do not have much time to make art anymore because of the schoolwork and such. So I will be putting out this series to help everybody who are my friends who keep complaining that they don't know how to draw. So I am here to help you, and yeah, this is a voiceover of a recording I already made because the recording I made did not capture my audio. So it might be a little bit laggy at some times. I apologize. But yes, we are going to start off with the basic anatomy, the shapes and stuff, and base structure, which is the fleshy bits and exactly how to make them. Alright. So, anybody can do this just for anatomy tips, etc. And I also use PowerPoint to record my video, so I'm sorry if you see the PowerPoint logo and it annoys you. That's how I screen record. If you want to use that, you can also use that. I use Shotcut as well currently for my editing process. So if that's any help with you guys, that is cool with me. And alright, so you're going to go to Fire Alpaca or whatever drawing engine you have. Fire Alpaca is a really nice one that is free for computers, free to download, but it does take up a lot of space, so don't forget to note that. Also, I have been using Fire Alpaca with a mouse, so it's a little harder for me to draw, and all of the layers 3 and down are not my art, are not my photos. So credit to whoever the original artists are, I apologize. And my friend actually inspired me to make this series. His name and his Instagram name will be in the description below. And he also just kind of inspired me to draw and teach you guys how to do a little bit of anatomy. In this little series, there will be 4 episodes for female, and if you want, I can also do a male. But yeah, so as you can see, this is the basic structure. It is made out of simple little shapes and lines. Lines and shapes such as circles. You can see there's circles for the shoulder, and there's even, if you want to get a freehand tool, there's a chest kind of plate, depending on, what gender. And the thigh can also be considered as one shape, or you can just look and see that there are circles. But that is the basic structure, and there are also hand structures, but I will not be teaching you that because I am not a professional at that whatsoever. But also for women's thighs, the top part is a bit bigger, and the same goes with the arms, that the top part, the biceps, the real big muscle, is bigger than the skinnier lower half. So keep that in mind while you're drawing female. Anyways, there's also circles for the feet, just for positioning, and you can draw feet however you like. I just do mine very simple because I'm bad at it. And now this is a reference of the character's overall clothes that I want to wear. I like the overalls, but I also want them to be a skirt and not shorts. So I put some references there for you to study, and I will show you how to do that as well. And this is a reference for a shirt I saw that I liked, so I grabbed that. And here are the basic anatomy structures of females. So this is very, very important when you're drawing a female. Same goes with males. They also have different body types. Now, there's different, more body types than shown here, but these are basic ones. So the pear is small at the top, big at the bottom because of the hips, a rectangle kind of body shape is mostly the same throughout. And, you know, that you can also have more curvature at the top for the chest plate. An inverted triangle is very big at the top, small in the middle, and then at the hips, it is more kind of square, as you can see. I'm sorry. It's allergy season for me. But for the hourglass shape, it is basically the same top, the same middle, but the sides are smoother and curvier than the inverted, as you can see here as I demonstrate. See, more curvy. And the round is just overall one piece, basically, and you can also add a bigger chest plate if you like, or a smaller chest plate, depends on what your character is like. But those are the basic kind of shapes of females. And here is a reference picture that I will show from a model. I do not know her name, I do not know the company that she is associated with, so I apologize, but I want to use this picture of her as a reference for how real life people can be broken down into shapes for the base, and then how it can also be positioned to be used as a kind of starter, you know, how to recreate real life poses. And of course, you don't have to use a reference picture. But first, I start off with a circle for the head. I kind of like anime heads, so that's what I usually do. And then I put a line down the middle, a curvy line, just to give it some definition. And for women's faces, you do not want to do a overall square. Square is more manly, and a circular kind of edge is more feminine. And if you're drawing 3/4, you're going to want to add an indent, but we are not doing that today, so I will be just drawing it regularly. With the same side, you can copy and paste as well. Sorry if I'm talking fast. But you can add an ear also, if you like, or you could add an ear on both sides. Whatever you want to do. It's not my character, but I like to tilt my head and make it more my art style because my heads are usually very big. So I will expand it and kind of tilt it throughout this episode. So just please apologize. I apologize for that. But you can always use your transform tool or just gloss over it later on in the final stage development where you finalize all the lines and stuff and make them all pretty. Okay, so the second part is the basic shape structure that I will be breaking down for you. So for the neck, you are just going to do a simple line. It can be a curvy line, it can be a straight line, and same with the shoulders, just a simple line. It can be curvy, straight, but for the shoulders, you are going to want to do 2 circles, and depending on where the circles are located, one circle may be smaller than the other, and this one in the front will be bigger than this one in the back because it is closer to the camera, it is closer to the viewer, and making the arm also bigger. So for the arm, you are going to put 2 lines, or however many with your bend or not a bend, and you are going to put a circle for the joint elbow, and I put a square for the hands just for reference. So now I'm going to do the same with the other side, but I'm going to do it the way I want to do it because I want it to look like she's partying or like she's at a concert. And once again, put a circle for the elbow because you need a good curvature there. And that is what we have so far, and it's already looking really great. So for the lower half and the chest area, I am going to decide what kind of body type I want. And I think I will go for the rectangle because I have a lot of trouble with rectangles. So I will be learning with you. I always like to challenge myself every day. So that is what I will be doing. And I will show you how to do that body type too, because it is a very hard body type to do, to draw. Keep tongue twisting myself. So I am going to go in and start to draw kind of a square, but a square with a 3-dimension and still kind of an indent as to where the top half of the chest plate would be. And this is a very important thing. It is called line of action, and it is always going to be curved somewhere, and do not ever let it be straight. Line of action is so important to making your character look alive, look energetic and happy, and even if it's sad, it makes it look more detailed and grungy, gives your character life. And now for the bottom half, I am just going to map out a second square. As you can see here, here's the second square. It has some curvature near the bottom where the butt is. And I am going to do 2 circles for the sides to show that there is going to be a top half thigh portion, which may or may not show through the overalls. And I will just draw a line, which you should also use a line of action line for this as well, to give it some more lifeline look. And I'm not going to be doing the shoes that she has because they are way too complicated for me. And instead, I will draw circles as to where the knees are, because you're also going to want to bend them. Knees are basically the elbows of the legs. And I will just be putting some squares to show you where my feet would be. And there you go, you already have an amazing base. And now you don't have to use a reference picture and just do it on your own with the few tips I have. Or if you want to recreate a real life pose, then you can do this as well, whilst also changing it up to make it look more like your art. But this is just a quick base and quick breakdown of how the shapes go together. Now, I usually don't use references, but every now and then I do have to use references if I'm doing a really hard hand gesture or certain types of curvy lines and leg poses, because I'm not used to that yet. I'm still learning myself. And now the face, you're not going to want to change on the second layer. You're going to want to have 3 layers, one for the base, second for the base structure, and then the third for the final structure. And yeah, for the base structure, the fleshy bits, I suggest using a different color. I will be using blue because it's easy to see, and I don't have blue in my final color. So I will go to my second layer with my blue color and start working on the fleshy bits. Sorry. And where the circles are is where you're going to want to have kind of a bump, kind of a curvature. And as you can see, as an artist, you're going to make many mistakes and have to redo them over and over again. Like, I had to cut the footage out because I took forever trying to figure out how to do it. And for the top portion of the character, since I am doing a rectangle, she will not really have too much in her chest plate. So it will be very small, but there still will be a curve because that is how females work. Not all, but when drawing them. And for the bottom, you are going to want to make sure that there are curves for the hips as well. And as you can see, I can always alter this later, make it look more natural. But for now, that's how we're going to leave it. And I will go over to the hand, and you're going to want the top part to connect and be thinner, and then it gets a little bit bigger as it goes down. Now, I'm not going to use this one because it looks too much like a turkey stick. Drumstick, so I will be redoing it. And with her rectangular body shape, it is going to be a lot more smaller than usual. If you were doing a different body shape, like a pear, you would have a little bit of a thicker arm, thicker legs. You get what I'm saying. But yeah, this took me a couple of tries, maybe about 20 tries. Just to get that one arm. And even then, as you see, I have to go and reposition it because I was very unhappy with the thickness. But that is alright. You can, of course, make the arms connect or disconnect if you don't want to. And also, the shoulders. that will be a very important part. Some shoulders will go up, some shoulders will go down. It's important to keep them smooth at all times, so make sure it's a smooth kind of look. With men, you don't have to do smooth, it's more kind of blocky, but yeah, smooth is the way to go with shoulders. And of course you can have the hair overlaying it if you don't want to draw that, but I do want to draw it since I want a short hairstyle. And here cuts to me, kind of happy with what I'm doing, and of course I'm going to go in later and change some of the stuff, because I am too picky about everything. For the thighs, you are going to want to, of course, start big at the top, because the thigh at the top is going to be bigger. And in this photo, there's a little bit of edge, I guess you could say, to it. So the first thigh will look bigger than the second one. And on some photos, you don't have to do that. But I am going to make the second thigh a little bit smaller on the side. And for the bottom part, I make it a bit thinner. And I use my line of action to my advantage. And I give it a little bit of a curve. And I make it thinner. It's break time. You don't have to listen to me talk now. But I went in and I got the hands. I did them off camera because it took me forever to finish them. And I went in and I edited a little bit of everything. And now I will make it more my art style, which is shorter, thinner, a bit chunkier. And I am going to downsize everything a little bit and adjust the legs to my liking. Now, if you have a different art preference, which you can find by looking at other people's art style and looking at it and saying, oh man, I really like long legs, or oh, I like drawing tennis shoes instead of stubs, because I draw stubs. But that will also be very useful into your planning and how to recreate it and make it your own unique style. As you can see, I'm already taking the legs, making them a bit shorter because I like shorter legs, and I will be making them a bit thinner than thick because it is a rectangular body. If it wasn't, I would leave them thick. And as you can see, now I kind of have a body shape, body type that I enjoy. And now I can just kind of go over it and make the lines nice if you want to, but I'm not going to since this is fast. And another thing to make my own art style is that I like the neck to be thick. I don't like thin necks. It annoys me. But as you see, I have to go in and change it a few times to my liking. So it would look something like that. And of course you can add more curvature to the butt if you would like to, but you can keep the face as it is because we will be working on that later with the hair and everything. And this is what we started off with, this pose. That is our base that we made from the pose, and this is our final outcome of the base structure. And when we put it all together, it looks really good, and I am very proud of everybody. Anyways, that is it for this episode. Next episode will be something different. Goodbye. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a lovely day.